does teeter on the scale of life and death. Remember that. Encourage that person in that vein, encourage that person to look at their labs. Labs are critical. And sadly, our obstetricians at large, there's even a documentary, if you haven't seen it, Aftershock is out there, where they did a C-section on a woman with very, very low platelet counts, y'all. Platelets is what's responsible for your blood clotting. I think in the documentary, don't quote me, but I feel like her platelets was like at a 50. You should not do major surgery on somebody with platelets that low. The lowest the platelets should be is 150, right? I had a friend, I actually dedicated my third book to her. And in the front of this book is, it talks about her. Her name is Shiphrah Kadima. And I dedicated this book to her. She was my very first assistant. She was a lactation professional. She was also training to be a midwife. But Shiphrah gave birth to a set of twins. And we found out she transitioned 3 days after. And what we learned was that she had very low platelet counts. And she bled out. She hemorrhaged to death. And so again, she should not have had a C-section. She opted for the C-section, birthing these twins. And she was also a birth worker. That's a whole nother subject. But labs, was my point. Get acquainted with your labs. It's not just a piece of paper with numbers and a bunch of acronyms on it. Google it. Understand what those are. This is a reflection of you and your body. Even if you're not pregnant, understand what your labs mean when you have your labs drawn, right? Many of us, especially Black women, are walking around anemic and don't find out until we're pregnant. And anemia is very, very large worldwide, not only just here in the States, but it is very important that you have optimal blood volumes for birth.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you first and foremost to just all these amazing gentlemen up here. Charles has been, man, instrumental in my healing, my evolving, even the fact of me just being here and having the strength to be able to share, my story with the world, our story with the world. Charles was there from day one, supporting me, giving me advice, guiding me through the most difficult and darkest moments of my life. So thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Strength. I always tell people that Yolanda was the strongest of the two of us. She was, man, an amazing mother, an amazing woman. And she taught me so much about everything that I am today. Through her courage, through her love, through her commitment to her community. As a birth worker, she gave her all to be of support to so many families in the most amazing process of bringing forth children into the world. I remember accompanying her to a multitude of births in the middle of the night, late mornings, just whenever it was. I was there supporting her as she was, performing what she felt was her calling, her purpose. I was so jealous of her at one point in time because she told me that she found her purpose, that she was on mission to be this birth worker that will help eradicate all the disparities, all the injustices, all the discriminations practices in our hospitals. So through all of that, I gained so much love for her, right? Love for our family, for our children. She always, when we met in college, she told me how she always wanted to be a mother. That was like her sole purpose in life. And she was that to the nth degree. She was the the epiphany of what a mother is. That's what she was. So the love that she demonstrated for our children is that unconditional love, that love you can't even really begin to fathom or comprehend the magnitude that she poured into our children to be able to ensure that they are the amazing people that they are, and the courage and the faith that is allowing them to turn the tragedy that we've experienced into triumphs, right? Because ultimately, I've learned that through this experience that within our deepest pain, there lies our purpose, right? So in that pain, I remember 3 days after Yolanda passed away, I remember feeling like I couldn't go, I couldn't proceed forward. Like I just felt like I wanted to be where she was. But it was the thought of our children, right? The thought of me not being there for our children, them also losing another parent, inspired me to create the foundation. I remember sitting there trying to figure out how I was going to push forward. And I said to myself that I have to create this foundation in her name to honor her, because through that, our children will be able to still know their mother, right? Through that, they'll be able to know what their mother stood for. We'll be able to collectively push forward her mission that she stood for so greatly. So I'm thankful for Yolanda inspiring my family, all of us, to be here and to partake in this collective advancement movement towards eradicating maternal mortality and infant mortality.
So, thank you.